and welcome back to another ASMR video brought to you by yours truly, Digital Remedy ASMR. And as you guys can see, we are in the closet once again. Now, as you guys can see, I have made a grave mistake today when it came to shaving in the shower. And for whatever reason, I thought that just having the mustache, these two little caterpillars upon my upper lip, for whatever reason, was a good look for me. Take a good look at me right now. Stare longingly into my eyes and tell me that this was a good decision. Say it with your chest now. And say it with all the conviction and gumption that you can muster up. Because you and I both know that this ain't a good look. But this isn't about me. Actually, it is. This is very much about me. Anyways, I want to say thank you for all the kind comments on my first ASMR video. There are many, many more to come. But of course, it wouldn't be a Digital Remedy ASMR video without some help from our friend, freshly brewed SodaStream seltzer water. Let's get a crisp open of that seltzer water, shall we? Oh, that one wasn't that crisp. We could do better. One moment. Patience with me. Patience, please. Yes. Maybe you're getting ready for bed. Maybe you've had a stressful day. Maybe you've had a stressful morning. I don't know your life, and you don't know mine. But you're about to find out a little bit more in today's video. Now that might have been the worst mistake I could have made. Because all of my electronics are within the blast zone of this SodaStream seltzer water. Still not sponsored though. Oh, so much more crisp that time. Anyways, let's get our first glug 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 down. Cool to the touch of the lip, and cool all down my fingertips. Or something. I don't know. Anywho, how are you doing? I'm doing great. In fact, I had a pretty good day myself today. I went to go visit my local mall. And I just decided to do a little bit of walking around. Bought an energy drink for the first time in a long time. I'm getting a little older, and the older I get, the less and less I can do the heavily caffeinated beverages. But I decided to ball out, as they say, and get myself a Monster Energy fruit punch, I believe is what it was. It was a fruit punch flavored Monster Energy drink. And it was not that great. Admittedly, it was not that great. However, it did give me the caffeine that I needed to go about my mall visit. And as I was walking around the mall, I walked past a carousel. And I remembered that around 3 years ago, just about 3 years ago this time, I was an operator for that exact carousel. Yes, that was a job that I did fresh out of college. This video is, in many ways, sort of a sequel to the last video. And that is, well, what did I do once the DoorDash money had dried up? Well, I applied to just about any place I could, And they wanted little 23-year-old me to be a mall carousel operator. And needless to say, I needed the money. And the job paid very well. But, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, this job turned me in to the big D word. No, not doofus. No, not dingus. No, not douchebag. None of those. Well, maybe scratch that last one. This job turned me into a doomer. That's right. I fully accept that for the few months that I worked at this job, it turned me into a doomer. It was a terrible, terrible working experience. Just so dehumanizing. I mean, I didn't enjoy even a moment of working there. And it was about what you'd expect for a job operating a carousel in a mall. Boring, dehumanizing, another D word. It's the night of the D word, or the day of the D word, depending on what time you're watching this video. Anyways, I worked there for about 6 months, and I had to leave because it broke me, and I was becoming a doomer. That's right. That's right. A lot of people in my life told me that this job changed me. It made me go from a happy-go-lucky, spry young spring chicken to an angry, grumpy, sad, no-fun-having doomer boy. At the age of 24 years old, in fact, I had to spend all of my 24th birthday, even though I had called out of work to go do things that day, working, because they couldn't schedule anybody else. I know. But I am reminded of a few stories, instances that occurred when I worked at the carousel. And that is that one night, after a particularly long and busy shift, I wanted to get home as quickly as possible because I wanted to go lay my little head to bed and go to sleep like you are right now. And as I'm driving home, I'm stuck behind one car that at every stop sign and red light would just stay there until I honked my horn, and I mean honked my horn, as in had to lay on the horn until they went. Now, obviously, I'm not honking at them at a red light. I understand how red lights work. There's one right there above the camera that I'm staring at right now. That is, it's not telling me to stop. It is telling me to go instead. And I am going by telling you this story. I am going to finish this story. Anyways, I thought I felt another burp inbound. I feel another burp inbound. Anyways, this happened about 8 or 9 times on my way home. I would be stuck behind this car, no chances to pass them, not even illegally. Not even illegally. Because I would have illegally loved to have passed this car. Just roam right around them. Just roam right around them. And leave them eating my dust. But no, instead I was stuck and had to lay on my horn at every stop sign and, well, correcting myself now, green light. A bit like Squid Game, isn't it? It's a bit like Squid Game, isn't it? Tell me, Batman, have you seen Squid Game? I'm going to wipe that smirk off my face, because this is serious. That is some good, high-quality H2O, if I do say so myself. Also, do you guys prefer ASMR, where the person is talking softly, like this, or do you prefer where they're whispering, like this? Comment down below. Also, if you like my content, please remember to like and subscribe, because apparently you should do that in every video, is remind people to like and subscribe. It actually, there's a science behind how that works. Anyways, working at the carousel was awful, as you can imagine. And as for our little friend who was stopping at every stop sign and staying there, eventually, probably about 5 minutes away from my house, they turned off and I floored it and made it home. I believe it was to watch the first Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, which had just dropped around that time. I might be getting that information wrong. I might be switching things around. I'm trying to think of some other instances that occurred while I worked at this carousel. It was honestly, the one nice thing about the job was when I first started working there, which was during the summertime, people were very generous with the tip jar. In fact, I remember on a not particularly busy day, this is a positive carousel story, and of course the only positives were the money. The money. Mr. Krabs. This job may have turned me into a doomer, but it also turned me into Mr. Krabs. Money, 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 money. Because every time I saw a customer approach, and I saw them hand me a $5 bill because it cost $4 to ride the carousel, I knew that they were going to give that extra dollar from that $5 bill. I would see dollar signs in my eyes. They would spin around like lottery machines. And cha-ching, cha-ching, because I knew that I was about to have a little extra cash in my wallet. It was the only positive side of working at this carousel. Other than that, soul-sucking job. She suck on my soul till I job. Sorry. Can't believe I said that. Water is punishment. Anyways, it had become too much after a certain point for me that I realized I could no longer work there. And so I quit right before the holiday season began. And I have many other stories that are going to get their own ASMR video from the closet regarding carousel stories and situations, but I thought I'd dip the little piggies into the water for you guys, so to speak. Hey, dip the piggies into the water. Cheers. The job at the carousel was so dehumanizing and degrading that I almost, and I say almost, started smoking cigarettes. And I am not the kind of man, boy, whatever you want to call me, that likes nicotine. I don't. But I started to get it. In fact, that little Wojak of the Doomer guy with the black beanie, and the black hoodie, and the cigarette in his mouth, I started to picture myself as him. Would you believe that? Would you believe that? I started to picture myself as him. And that's when I knew this was becoming a problem. And I'm just letting you guys know right now that no job should ever make you want to smoke a cigarette. It should make you want to burp in your closet in front of a camera. Anyways, one of my final straws with this job was that while I worked there, and I'm not going to sit here and say that this makes me a perfect employee, but you got to have your own little silent acts of rebellion every once in a while, don't you? On not particularly busy days, and I want to say for the record, I am a man with pretty long hair. Well, not pretty, like, it's probably kind of ugly. It looks, I don't know, but I have long hair. And on not particularly busy days, while I worked there, I would slip a little AirPod Pro, just one, into my ear so I could listen to a podcast while I cleaned, while I worked, while I got things done, or just while I sat there, staring off, longing for a better life of making ASMR videos in my closet. This was my dream all along, was to do this. Anyways, I did that for a long time. One AirPod in the ear, typically listening to Super Megacast or Chuckle Sandwich, because that was a thing back then. And it was never an issue until I had complained about the fact that I was scheduled on my birthday, even though I had called off that day and had to cancel my plans because I had to work that day. Anyways, up until that point, me having a single AirPod Pro in my ear, was not a problem until I had complained once, until I had stood up for myself once, that was when I was written up about the AirPod Pro in my ear. AirPod Pro in my ear. I hate working at the carousel. In fact, I believe my old work uniform, I can't quite reach it, is sitting right behind you. It's right behind me, isn't it? Oh no. But what are you gonna do? Every now and then in life, you gotta accept the fact that you gotta work a job that you don't want to work. And maybe, just maybe, shut the fuck up. Maybe, just maybe, you're listening to this job, working a job, you're listening to this ASMR video, working a job that you don't want to work. Singular AirPod Pro slipped into your right ear, tucked away by your long, illustrious hair, as your silent act of rebellion. And I'm proud of you. Keep fighting the good fight. And remember, when you stop at a stop sign, you need to drive once you stop. You need to go once you stop. You don't just sit there. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. And thank you so much for tuning into Digital Remedy ASMR. Like and subscribe for more of these videos. I will keep making them. And have yourself a very good night, good day, or good shift if you have a job. Maybe you're unemployed. That's okay too. Just don't become a doomer. Bye-bye.